What's up guys, welcome back to another video, and today we're doing What If Deku Was the Avatar, Part 1. So, to set this story up, I'm doing it generic, because I couldn't think of any other way other than, the spirit world opened and Rava showed up, but then I couldn't do anything else with it. So, scratch all that out. Rava got brought here after the battle against, I can't remember the evil spirit's name, the one of darkness, when Rava was separated from Korra. But rather than Korra not being there with Rava, I'm going to say a chunk of her soul got took with Rava when she was transported over to the My Hero verse. And the main reason why I decided to do that was just because I feel like we should have both avatars, and I know Korra kind of done messed up, but I think she should be here. And Deku, which will be an earthbender, because that's the next one in the cycle, will be the first avatar of this world. So when Deku was born, Rava inhabited Deku, and he's the next reincarnation of the avatar. Of course, no one knows this yet, and no one understands anything about bending, so Deku's gonna have a hard time using his skills to the fullest extent. Especially in the earlier stages where he really can't use his skills to the fullest extent at all. So Deku goes throughout his life, and he meets Bakugo, and they hang out and everything, until the age of 4, when Deku gets told he does not have a quirk, because he has the extra thing in his pinky toe. And Deku is just massively upset by this. Not upset enough to go into the Avatar state, but he is hyper upset, like depressed, kind of, for now. And Deku just keeps on trying to do something, and Bakugo starts bullying him at school, and so do all the other kids. And Bakugo then starts calling Izuku Deku, giving our main protag his name still. And Deku keeps getting bullied day in and day out, constantly, and the bullying starts to worsen, and it starts to build up in Deku that, this bullying's starting to get very bad. It's not good. And at the end of middle school, the teacher collected all the application forms from all the students who decided where they wanted to go next year, and tossed the paper in the air, saying, I don't even give about what y'all want to do, because I don't know, y'all want to go to hero school. And everyone starts using their quirks, and the teacher's like, calm down. And Bakugo's like, don't put me in with these D-listers. They're probably going to maybe be lucky enough to show up as a sidekick in one-off agencies. And the teacher just goes, yes, Bakugo, whatever. And Bakugo scoffs at this. And the teacher goes through all the papers and everything and sees that Izuku Midoriya wants to also go to UA, the same school as Bakugo. He's like, Izuku Midoriya, you want to go to UA? The teacher asks questioningly, and Deku's like, yeah, I do. I want to go to UA. Which pisses off Bakugo, because Bakugo is thinking, this shitty Deku thinks he can get in the same school as me. Really? And then Bakugo, after school, Bakugo and the two other kids, the one with, I think he has bat wings, and the other one has a weird finger extension quirk. I don't know what their names are or what their quirks are, but I'm pretty sure those are their two quirks, which the bat wing quirk is actually probably really cool if it was used to the better extent. But Bakugo takes Deku's notebook, and Deku doesn't know any martial arts or anything. he doesn't know anything like that. All he knows is that he can feel someone else with inside him. Like, he can feel like he's always being watched, but he doesn't know who he's being watched by. As Bakugo takes his notebook and he starts reading Deku's account of him constantly feeling like he's being watched. Like he's constantly watched by someone or something that is keeping tabs on everything Deku does. And then Bakugo reads that his quirk's in there. And Bakugo's like, you really think you're important enough to be fucking watched, you shitty Deku? And what did I say about putting my quirk into your shitty nerd book? As Deku's like, Kachan, please give it back. And Bakugo's like, you want back your notebook? Shitty Deku. As he blows up the notebook in his hand and chucks it out the window. Then go get it. Maybe jump off the roof and in your next life you'll be born with a quirk. As he scoffs and walks out of the room. And Deku is just completely saddened by this. Once again, he has been told to fuck off and do something else. With no remorse from his friends or anyone else. And he really doesn't have friends. He gets kicked to the curb a lot. Deku walks out the door, shambling through the halls as people see him and laugh, saying, that's the quirkless kid. Yeah, that's that Deku kid. As Deku tries to block out all the criticism that other people are saying as he walks outside around to the back of the school to pick up his notebook. The notebook being exploded, and as well as falling into a small water pile, getting drenched in water. Deku picks it up as he lets out a couple tears and stands there for a moment while crying. He doesn't understand why the situation is as it is. Why he gets bullied by everyone. Why him? Why is the situation as it is? As Deku cries. Then he sucks up his tears and everything and all the snot back into the nose. And then he starts to walk back to his house. He got lost along the way and ended up walking into an alley. While walking into the alleyway, he hears something open behind him. And out pops out a sludge villain. And all Deku could think at this moment, really? This is how I'm gonna go? By like a weird sludge villain? No, this cannot be how I go. And Deku's eyes start to go blue. And go back to his regular color. And blue and regular color. And blue and regular color. And blue and regular color. Until his eyes blare blue, and he opens them again, and then with all the voices of all previous avatars, Deku announced that I am the Avatar. You will not destroy me or kill me or suffocate me, whichever one of the three, as he blasts the sludge villain all over the walls using gale force winds. And as soon as that happens, All Might comes around the corner and sees Deku starting to fall with the sludge villain splashed everywhere. All Might quickly rushes in to grab Deku before Deku falls. And Deku sees All Might as he blinks slightly in and out consciousness until he falls unconscious again, laying his head back as he's laid down on the floor by All Might. All Might picks up all the parts of the sludge villain and looks towards the kid who is unconscious, wondering, did this kid send this villain flying onto the walls all by himself? He must have quite a powerful quirk, if it's this strong. When Deku opens his eyes, he's not where he was when he blacked out. He's no longer in the tunnel. He's in like a white space, completely white, stretching out as far as he can see in all four directions. Out of nowhere, two people come out in front of him. One was a weird boy looking about his age with some weird tattoos. Oh no, wait. He was 2 years younger than him with weird tattoos all across his body, wearing some sort of orange and yellow robe. And a girl who walked out as well, she looking to be about a year or two older than him, walking out in a tank top and some weird pelt thing around her waist. Deku is startled by these two, but the two different people hold up their hands to calm down Deku. And they introduce themselves. The boy with the blue tattoo introduced himself as Ain, while the female in the tank top introduced herself as Korra. And then they stated that they are his past life. And Deku's just sit here. And he's like, wait a minute, am I dead? And then Korra tries to resist laughing as Ain just is like, well, that's a fair assumption. Then Korra's like turned around, like hunched over, has her hand over her mouth, trying to resist laughing. And then Ain elbows Korra, causing her to turn around with an intent look as Ain just says, no, you're not dead. Don't worry, you're not dead. I can swear by it that you are not dead. Don't worry, we helped you out there. And Deku tilts his head and he's like, you guys helped me out? And Korra says, yeah, we did. I know, we're pretty cool, right? And Deku looks at Korra and he's like, so what do y'all mean by my past lives and how did you all help me out? What was that thing that I just experienced? And Ain states that, well, see, you're the Avatar. And Deku, tilts his head sideways and is kind of confused by what Ain meant by the Avatar. And Korra goes on explaining, saying, well, you see, there's 4 elements. Earth, fire, water, air. Once upon a time, all the 4 elements were in peace and harmony until the Fire Nation attacked. And then Deku looks curiously over at Korra, and then he goes, what do you mean by the Fire Nation? And then Aang chimes in and says, well, I can see in this world that there are no longer the 4 nations. See, there's 4 different nations. The Earth Kingdom, the Fire Nation, the Water Tribes, and the Air Nomads. I belong to the Air Nomads, and Korra chimes in saying that she belongs to the Water Tribe. As well as this time, Deku gets explained that he, if he was born during our time, would be belonged to the Earth Kingdom because he is an Earthbender. And Aang explains with a saddened look on his face, he was like, in my time, when I became the Avatar, my whole entire race was wiped out. And Deku asks, wiped out? And Korra's like, you remember when I said the Fire Nation attacked? Well, yeah, they attacked the Air Nomads first, wiping out everyone except for Aang. And Deku looks towards Aang, and he can just sense the sadness Aang is experiencing. And he's like, I'm so sorry for what happened to you. And Aang holds up his hand and corrects him. And he's like, not to me, to us. We're the same person. And Deku once again asks, so what do you mean by we're the same person? How are we the same person? What are you on about by you guys being my past lives? And then Korra chimes in again saying, well, you see, you're the Avatar, as we already explained. And the Avatar's job is to keep the 4 nations in check. Or, to be more accurate, to bring balance between the 4 nations. And Aang stated, well, now that there isn't the 4 nations, your job is to bring balance and peace to the world. And Korra's like, yes, your job is to bring balance and peace. So far, you haven't even learned your base element, which is Earth. So it's probably going to be more difficult for you to learn all the other elements until you learned the Earth element. And Deku's still like, wait, hold up. What do you mean learn Earth? I'm still kind of confused on that part. And Aang explained, well, you see, there's 4 elements. You got Earth, fire, air, and water. The Avatar's job is to master all four of the elements and to use them. You are going to have to master earthbending. That is your primary element, is the one that's going to come easiest to you. The one that's going to come hardest to you is going to be the exact opposite of your bending style, which will be air. And Deku's once again just standing here like, not going to get explanation on why that's the case. Okay, cool. And then Korra and Aang both chime in saying, we can hear that, we are inside your head. And Deku kind of, like, gets embarrassed and turns around. And he's like, okay. So you're saying I can bend the four elements? Yes, and any children you'll have after you can bend earth as well. So I assume that quirks are an advanced version of bending. And that anything that is born will gain your bending type as well as a quirk if they get the ability to possess a quirk. And then he asks, so will they become the next Avatar? And Aang and Korra both shake their heads. No. See, the next Avatar only gets born after you die. So as soon as you die, the next Avatar is born. And the next Avatar will be born of the Fire Nation. Or be a firebender, to be more accurate. And they'll have trouble with water bending. Okay. And what was that weird blue eye mode I went into? And Aang says that was the Avatar state. It combines all the knowledge and all the techniques of all previous avatars at once. That's why you were allowed to use all four elements simultaneously without any issues. And Deku shakes his head, going, okay. So next question. How am I meant to learn the four elements? Well, earthbending should come easiest to you. You've probably been manipulating earth to a slight degree already, yet it was so slight that neither you or anyone around you could notice it. Maybe like small pebbles floating, like that small. And Deku's like, okay. So all you have to do is work on bending earth. There are more avatars than just us, as Korra and Aang, who are standing next to each other, both turn 90 degrees, basically revealing behind them a whole entire large row of people stretching back so far to where Deku can't even see anymore. He doesn't even know how many people there are. And Aang and Korra said, they will be your masters. They will assist you in learning the four elements, as well as learning the additional side elements. And then Deku asks the side elements, and Korra chimes in saying, well, they're not much side elements, but more of like advanced bending techniques. They will be things that take your bending abilities to the next level. And after you master those, there'll be one final bending type you'll master. And Deku looks at Aang after saying this and asks, but I thought you said there was only four. And Aang says, well, yes, there are only four, but there is technically a fifth one that only the Avatar knows. Well, to be more accurate, only me and Korra know. And Korra chimes in saying, this is called energy bending. It gives the user the ability to give or take away bending. And Deku's like, okay, so when do I start? And Deku says, Aang says, well, to start, you have to start by learning how to meditate. Work with one of the previous earthbending avatars to learn. I can teach you more advanced earthbending techniques like metal bending, and Korra has seen a new type of bending called lava bending, as well as I can also teach you sand bending as well. Those are free earthbending techniques. After you learn all of earth, we'll move on to the next element on the list, which would be fire bending. You will learn fire bending, as well as you will attempt to learn combustion bending, as well as lightning bending. After that, you would move on to air bending, and air bending would be your most difficult one because it's the exact opposite of your bending style. And air bending, you would just learn basic air bending because there are no additional techniques except for spirit bending, which spirit bending lets you to astral project yourself and communicate with spirits to a higher degree. And then after that, you'll learn water bending, which should come easier than other bending types. You'll learn water bending and ice bending. And that's all Ain says. But then Korra chimes in, and she's like, Ain, you forgot one. There's blood bending. And Ain instantaneously has a horrified look on his face, as he tells Korra that he didn't want Deku to learn blood bending, because blood bending is a dark art of bending that should not be learned or taught by anyone. It should fizzle out and be non-extinct. As Korra's like, okay, I learned. My bad. As for all that, you'll start your training tomorrow. You'll meditate and learn earth bending with the previous earth bending avatar. Afterwards, you'll then move on to the other elements. And I'm pretty sure you have an exam coming up in 10 months. So you should probably study for that as well. Let's reach number 1. And Korra's like, yeah, let's reach number 1. We'll be number 1. And then we'll announce the avatar and that we're the bringer of balance and peace. And Deku smiles and is like, yeah, we're going to reach number 1. And that's where I'm going to leave it off, everybody. If you liked it, hit the like button. If you enjoyed it, hit the subscribe button. Once again, this is a 50 view, so if this video reaches 50 views, part 2 should come out as soon as possible. And until next time, goodbye.